Hey, namaste. Welcome to the space of love. So today we speak about happiness, this never-ending pursuit that we're on, this pursuit of happiness. So happiness is something that we all want. In fact, it's something that all beings want. But just because it's something that we want, does that mean that it's life's goal? Is that why we're here? Is our purpose here just to feel happiness all the time? But before we get into all of that, let's actually talk about what happiness actually is. How does it work in our system? So let's get into the neuroscience of things. As we know here at Space of Love, we always try to find a marriage between science and spirituality. So happiness, in fact, is triggered by literally happy chemicals in our system, in our physiology. These chemicals are oxytocin, dopamine, serotonin, and endorphin. Basically, these are the four chemicals that are secreted in our system when we are feeling good. So whenever we are feeling good and you feel happy, what's happening is these chemicals are actually being secreted in our system, in our brains. Now, of course, we want these feelings all the time. We want them to sustain, but that doesn't mean that they should sustain all the time, because there's actually a reason why these chemicals are secreted. There's a reason why we are made to feel good. And this is where we actually have to come down and look at ourselves as having mammal brains and look at how the actual physiology of our body works. You see, these secretions are actually designed to reward us for doing the things that we need to do for survival. Or the animal that we are, what we need to do to survive. So it rewards us for doing those things, for example, eating. But the interesting thing is that our brain actually defines survival in a very quirky, different, weird way, which is why we human beings end up doing weird, quirky things to make us continue to feel better, even if those things are actually not good for us in the long term. See, we inherited our mammal brain from earlier mammals in the story of evolution. And in our brain, we have these systems that actually control the secretion of these happy chemicals that I mentioned. And these systems are called the hypothalamus, the pituitary gland, the amygdala, and the hippocampus. So these are systems in our brain that are designed to maintain and monitor our stress levels, our survival instincts basically, and so they secrete these chemicals to give us the reward, to tell us that, hey, what you're doing right now, what we're doing right now is actually necessary for survival. So what's happening is while we eat, it keeps secreting these chemicals saying this is good, this is good. So you want to get addicted to that eating so that you keep doing it. And that's the purpose of these happy chemicals. That's actually the purpose of happiness, the way we are built, is to remind us that, hey, this thing that I'm doing right now, I should keep doing it because it's good for me. Now, what's important to note is that the mammal brain doesn't speak English, so it doesn't use language to explain to us why it is that it's secreting these chemicals and when it's doing that. So what we've had to do as human beings, as a species, is we'd studied the behavior of other animals to see how it all works. And this is actually where it gets really, really interesting. So we've done this, for example, with monkeys, and we've seen the secretion of dopamine in their system. So if you dangle a banana in front of a monkey, the moment that happens, the monkey sees the banana and it starts secreting this happy chemical, and it makes it want to climb the tree or walk towards this banana. And as it is doing this, it's approaching the banana, it keeps getting this happy feeling, these happy chemicals released. What's interesting is that the moment the monkey gets the banana, the happy chemicals stop secreting. So this is where we bring in spiritualities, because we always say enjoy the journey. It's about the journey. It's about not the destination. It's about the voyage there, right? And it's literally how we are built physiologically, is we are built to be given rewards in the journey, but the moment we are given the reward, our brain stops giving us the secretion because it's actually done its job, right? It's actually tricked us to do the thing that we need to do just for survival. Isn't that interesting? So it is about the journey. It's about enjoying the time we spend in the journey as opposed to being fixated on the result. And so one of the things we always say here at Space of Love is take your time. Take your time. If you're actually cooking a meal or something, prolong the period of time that you're cooking because that's actually the period of time that you're getting these chemicals secreted in your brain to make you feel happy. The moment you get the food, it starts all over again. You have to find that next project to work at. So deepest message here, and we get into this kind of talk in our workshops and our retreats, of course, but happiness is actually what we make of it. And this is an age-old quote, but the way we actually stitch our days is we take little moments of happiness or moments of sorrow, because they actually come in fleeting moments. There's no such thing as a sustained period of happiness. They're just little moments, little secretions of the chemicals in our brains that make us feel good for a moment of time. So what we tend to do is we stitch these moments of happy or sad and form sort of like a blanket or a cushion under us that dictates the way we operate in that very given day. That's all we're doing, is so we can make a choice to stitch the sad moments or stitch the happy moments. But what's most important is to actually understand why it is that we are given this feeling of happiness. To understand that it's not something that we're actually supposed to have all the time, and if we don't have it all the time, that we are ill or not well or should be diagnosed with something. It's one of the things that we do in our society is we have this expectation that we're supposed to be happy all the time, but our system isn't built that way. So you see, our brain is actually built to promote survival, not to promote us being happy all the time. So it's really, really important to know that. We're actually supposed to feel happy for a specific purpose, and we're supposed to feel sad for a specific purpose. So it's important to understand what that purpose is. And this is what the intention of our workshops are. So with that, I'll leave you. I hope you have a happy day. As always, I love you. Namaste.